It's Celebration Week. Tomorrow on the show, Lori will join us. Lori Sturgill, who, by the way, has done a great job outside looking in, all things considered, helping to raise money. And I thought the acts that were booked this year were interesting. There's still celebration acts, and I still have a problem with bringing these old defunct bands back with only like one original member and paying them a lot of money. I would encourage you to get out to some of the other stages with bands maybe you haven't heard of, but you always find good shows.
Definitely.
One of the things living in downtown I always liked was the main stage, which I think they've moved like a half a block to the east. That stage always had great bands, and it would be people that had no idea were even there.
Yeah.
So get out and enjoy it. I know that, I don't think there was a lot of grief last year about the bands. This is your way of helping fund the celebration. There's a lot of companies like Newhoff Media that will write checks or give advertising and sponsor this, and the same 30 or 40 or 50 companies that every year make this stuff happen. This is how you can do it. You come down and you buy a band. If you want to buy food and alcohol, I don't know what the cost is on this.
It's $5.
$5,
and
but you get
$6 during the celebration.
$6 if you buy them ahead of time. $5,
right?
$6 a head. You get a Pizza Hut carry out special coupon with it, so you can use it after you're done with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to me to be a lot to ask to keep such a big thing happening in the community. Buy beer, buy Pepsi, buy food, buy some of the. They've got great the art dealers and all the sort of jewelry makers and antiques. They got fun stuff for the kids. We made a clay pot last year with a little handprint with all bejeweled and bedazzled. The carnival's up and it's fun. So get down, please, and support the celebration. Lori will be on the show with us tomorrow, and you can hear about all the different folks are going to be there. But I really do want to encourage. They're going to open more tents to sell these or stands. So I think there was last year, a little bit longer lines than they had anticipated. But they've moved to correct that. So if the weather's good this weekend, and even if it's not, get downtown and help the Decatur celebration make their goal. If they can just get to even, it's such a big deal. No one's making money off this thing. People I know talked about Fred's salary, and Fred was getting, a millionaire. I mean, Fred was a lot of things. I don't know that overpaid was one of them. And Lori certainly is doing a great job. So listen to the show tomorrow. All right. I'm here with all the ladies, and so I thought since Governor Quinn has declared it Illinois Breastfeeding Month, we would, for the guys' night, delve into this a little month and find out exactly. This is something that is completely alien to men, right? Mm-hmm. There's the whole conversation in Meet the Parents.
Mm-hmm.
I have nipples, Greg. That was very funny. But that's about as close as guys get to this conversation.
Oh, please, one more time for the cameras, please. Yeah, nice.
I get this flyer, and it's brought to you by the Decatur Public Library and our good friend at St. Mary's Hospital. And I see that it says, tune in to WSOY's Pharmacy Facts with Friends for a preview of the discussion. So in some way or another, we're attached to Talk to Me, Breastfeeding, a 3D experience.
We've latched on to the topic.
We've suckled up to it. And I'm curious, first of all...
We're really going to milk this thing.
We're going to milk it for all it's worth. Is there an immense amount of pressure, this is from a guy, asking from a guy's point of view, for women to breastfeed?
Yeah.
Are you considered second-class citizens if you don't? My mom, for the record, I don't think did.
My mom didn't.
Yeah. And so I read that I have a much better chance to be a serial killer.
Ooh.
No milk jokes.
2%
No, but I mean, social attachments. I mean, there are all these. I mean, you read this, and I think it's a bunch of hogwash. It's the job your parents do raising you versus whether you get baby milk or powdered milk or whatever it might be. I think I like Sprite. So I do know, being in an office with women, there's always this closed door time where they're doing some kind of pump thing for later storage. And then I read that these people exchange milk.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
What?
I did not know about that. Some of them sell breast milk.
Okay. All a little creepy for me. I don't know what the 3D breastfeeding experience is
now
like.
in Boobavision.
Yeah. It sounds like something that would come up in the 1970s, or like Russ Meyer films or one of those things.
Full and IMAX.
All right, so do you plan, are you planning on breastfeeding, or is this still a big deal? What is the name of the group that's the...
La Leche.
La Leche, yeah.
They are... If you're watching...
No, stop. No, I have to say this. They are a very fervent group in support of breastfeeding. I think, to me, in a country where it's all about choice, that women ought to have the choice to breastfeed or not breastfeed. And I personally would like to see this go to powdered, because then we wouldn't have to do all that weirdness in the office that everybody's uncomfortable with the pump. Because they always clean it out in the kitchen sink. You know, it's not a private thing. It's very much. It's got to be stored in the fridge. And I'm always going, is that bull semen? What is that? I mean, I don't know what that is.
I'll breastfeed.
You will?
I will.
I think I'll
If I
try
can.
it.
Why?
Yeah.
I think it's better for the baby.
But you yourself were not. So you're fundamentally admitting that your baby needs to be a better person than you are.
Well, isn't that what you always want for your children?
I think you want more from them in life.
It's supposed to help with the immune system.
Yeah.
And they
Correct.
get less infections when they're babies.
You know what I
there's
wanted for my
health
child?
benefits.
Yeah.
I wanted to live long enough and sleep long enough to take care of my child. And this idea that I had
It's
to...
very time consuming. So I've heard.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Bogle, I don't know physically how this works, but I have guesses.
And for purely selfish reasons, you lose weight faster.
See, that's what I was thinking.
I knew there was some kind of selfish. You better hope your kids are better than you. I knew there was some superficial reason that you were behind this.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
All lies.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Tell you if you want
aside from the health benefits for the child, selfishly, I want to be little again.
I'm on board with She's going to get other people's babies, too.
I'm like, you there. How old is that kid? Are they hungry?
It'll be the neighborhood spigot.
Well, think about this. I'm a
it's-
busty lady. Can you imagine when I'm pregnant what's going to happen in this region?
Double H's.
I'm going to have to breastfeed to get this under control.
All right, okay. Now just promise me then, and I think it's fine. By the way, you know, I'm like with schooling or homeschooling. I mean, as long as you're a responsible adult, I think you ought to just make your own decisions. And I'm good with it. It's not my business, not my life. But you got to make a couple of promises to society at large. We had a woman in Champaign who was one of these Leahy freaks that was still breastfeeding her kid. The kid was, you know, old enough to like have his driver's permit.
If he can lift up his shirt, he's too old.
If he says, you know, if he can unbutton your blouse.
If he can, if he can work the bra strap, that's not
If he
good.
All right,
can walk
that-
up to you and climb up on your lap,
That's basic rule number one, I think. Basic rule number two is that I'm sure it's a loving mother experience
No,
that
it's
you are
not.
bonding, but the rest of us do not want to watch you do it. So
Even if you cover up, we still don't want to be a part of it.
as guys, and I mean this, there's almost no exception when I say, would you look at a picture of a naked lady? I don't even care. You could say, here's a picture of Roseanne Barr. I would look at it. There is nothing sexy about breastfeeding. So there's not even, and if a guy doesn't even have a hint of curiosity of seeing breasts, you know it's not meant for public consumption. So don't do that, please. Just don't do that. And then don't spray police officers with your breath.
I will.
This was a story that
Except when she's at home.
just this
Exactly it.
what two responsible adults do in the privacy of their own bedroom is fine. Well, Governor Quinn, he can't solve the budget, but we know it's breastfeeding week, and they're going to have a 3D experience at the public library on August 16th. Have you seen the people that go to the events at the public library? I can't wait to see these two worlds
Hairy
collide.
legs.
Yeah.
We should go.
Okay. It's the 16th of August. Join us tomorrow. Police Chief Todd Walker will be in here with us. City Hall Insider Paul Osborne, the coach, stopping by, and Lori Sturgill from the celebration will give the lowdown on all of the great acts, maybe even some of those acts you've never heard of. Lori will give you a sneak peek, plus some of the great food. I hear the river chips are coming back. 6 to 9 tomorrow morning. Join us. News Talk 1340, WSOY.